What are nodes and what are masternodes? Hey and welcome to my channel. My name is Julian. I'm one of the co-founders of 10x, and on this channel I talk about blockchain, decentralization, cryptocurrencies, and much more. And I really want to give as good transparent, as good detailed insight in what's happening in the cryptocurrency world, explain these things, and I really try to do this from the inside. There's many people who look at it from the outside and they kind of do some guessing, but this world has been, it was flowing in my veins for the past years, and so I want to give you the best possible answers on a lot of things. And I want to talk to you about what nodes and what masternodes are. Nodes are nothing else than computers that do store the entire, or normally they store the entire blockchain, they store the entire information of a decentralized system. So they make sure that the information is always stored, it's decentralized, they receive information from the miners, from users, forward those, and really try to share as much as possible to avoid also decentralization of information storage. Now, if you look at masternodes, right, and the opposite of a node, or a full node if you want to call it, are like light nodes. Light nodes only store the absolute minimum. Many wallets, many user wallets actually store that because, for example, in Bitcoin, if you want to store the entire blockchain, it will be 160 gigabyte. And with some compression mechanisms and some cryptographic functions, you can actually bring this down to a few hundred megabytes, which is quite doable, right? Hopefully in the future, gigabytes is not such a big problem, but right now, still with data transmission and storage and processing capabilities, gigabytes is still a challenge. Now, if we take this up and we say, what are masternodes? Now, masternodes actually have different functions and they have actually a different purpose. For example, if we look at Dash, and this is just a pure example because many other cryptocurrencies have different functions for masternodes. These masternodes do all kinds of things. Sometimes masternodes require you to have a certain amount of coins to provide either liquidity or provide stability. For example, in Dash, masternodes need to have at least 1,000 Dash, and they help with the coin mixing, which is one of the functions of Dash, which is that Dash is not very transparent. The blockchain is not transparent because you don't always know how things are sent, because you can private send them through these mixers, and the masternodes provide these mixers. Now, it can also be that masternodes are part of a proof of stake mechanism, which means they are part of actually providing liquidity and kind of staking coins, and are part of consensus. And obviously, the more you stake, the more money you get in return. So it's actually not necessary to have a cryptocurrency with a masternode. Most cryptocurrencies actually do not have masternodes, but masternodes have an interesting function. They give an incentive to run a node or to participate in something. And that is something that has been criticized in Bitcoin for quite some time. And that is, well, if there's no incentive to run a full node, why would someone run a full node then? Why would people not just keep a light node, only store the bare minimum? And this is a really fair question. And there's not a real good answer other than, you want to have a community effort. You actually want to be in charge of your own. You don't want to have to rely on others, on full nodes, to verify the information. You actually want to be able to do this yourself. But then obviously at the end, the most interesting thing is always to have an incentive, because with the right incentives, everyone is willing to do something. And some newer cryptocurrencies, just like Dash and many others, are actually looking into such direction. Now, if you're watching this, you might be interested, should I become a masternode? And should I actually, stake these coins or put these coins into something and become a masternode? And because you're going to be paid for this, right? The mixers in Dash get paid. If you take part of a proof of stake, you get paid. And this is an answer that I couldn't answer for you. But I can tell you one thing. If, let's pick a cryptocurrency and you like this cryptocurrency and you actually invest in this cryptocurrency in the long run, then I think it makes a lot of sense to become a masternode, because you're not really risking these funds. You're not really putting them on an exchange. I'm not a big fan of, for example, lending Bitcoins away, because this is highly risky. But going and setting up a masternode of a coin that you already like, to me, that makes a lot of sense. what doesn't make a lot of sense is to make a masternode just to make a masternode. Because at the end, you still need to bet on this currency. And if the fundamentals of this currency are crap and you're betting on this currency, honestly, I'm not sure how much sense this makes. So my opinion on masternodes is I would love more cryptocurrencies to actually have a kind of concept like this. I also think Bitcoin should have somehow adopted this because it would solve a lot of problems when it comes to incentives for developers and so on. But I mean, that's how it is, right? There's not much to change right now. Maybe at some point, improvement proposal will be made. But at the moment, it's not this case. But I think masternodes are a cool and interesting concept. I would also, you run a masternode. I'm not running any masternodes myself, but because none of the coins that I hold, I have these large stacks in where you can set up a masternode. I hold Dash, but I don't own as much that I would need, what I would need to run a masternode. But if you do and you bet on these coins, then it might be interesting to run a masternode. And I hope that explains that a little bit. If you have further questions, drop me some comments down below. Give me a thumbs up for this video. Share this video if you feel more people should know about nodes and masternodes. Subscribe to my channel. I do everything here in English and in German. And other than that, hey, have a really great week. See you at the next video. Yours truly, Julian.